Yeah, look at I welcome the scheme, and I suppose it was prioritised and where there is a lack of infrastructural services throughout the county last year. We have 75% off year one, which is 2026. You get 50% off your rate bill in year two and 25% off year three. And that increases for derelict sites. So if you bring a derelict shop or a house back into life, you get 85% in the first year, 60% in the second year, and 35%. So these are for new build hotels, right? We're short about 1,000 rooms a night here in the county for our tourism industry. So we are very anxious as a council to increase the bed nights here in the county and the bed stays, because that leads to greater economic activity if you stay that extra night in the county. Recreational, that goes into the tourism side about RV campsites. So we're very anxious. There's a new sector of the tourism economy since COVID, since 2020. Lots of people have purchased recreational vehicles, and they drive around Ireland and they camp for a weekend in different places. And we're dotted along West Clare, like Quilty, for instance, my own village, is an ideal site for one of these. And we're going to have washing facilities and showers and things like that on it as well. A Spanish Pint, there's one in Milton Malbay at the moment, has been very successful, started up, and Kilkee, Dunbeg. So all around the county, Kildysert has a very good one down in Kildysert, and the Key in Kildysert. So all dotted along West Clare, and they need to be near villages and towns where they can support the local hotel or the local pub or the local restaurant. And that's what we're trying to encourage people to enjoy themselves, So that's in the tourism side. Nursing homes in, and new nursing homes repurposed for today's world, and that's very important. Also, medical centres and creches. We're trying to ensure that that the health service in Clare is potentially maximised to the last, and we're just trying to incentivise reinvestment in those areas. And rates, I suppose we did approve a new rates increase last year, and but it's important to emphasise that if you pay it up front, there's a percentage kickback of 5% on the rates. So they've been top 8, but if you pay it all up front, you're only paying an actual increase of 3%. So these are all leverages in trying to encourage investment into the county and to critical areas where we need that will actually benefit the county and increase the economic output of the county.
And it was said today in the SBC meeting that there's been no uptake of it so far.
No, it's early days, because any of these projects you have to apply for planning, and it's only since January it has come in. So up to December, the developers didn't really know that was this going to come into play, so it was passed by the council. So January this year, now everybody can see it is there in down in print, and it's a legal format, so they can now look at investing. So it's going to take maybe until September this year until we see applications coming in, for hotels or for all of the things we talked about. So, it's time for reflection, I suppose, for developers and people who are going to invest in the county. But, as it was proposed today, that we will revisit this scheme this time next year, and if the developments are starting to come in, we can actually push it on to next year as well. So, I'm quite confident that we have support within the chamber for that,
Is there ways in which you would encourage people to uptake it, or ways you would suggest?
Yeah, I suppose we can do a little marketing campaign as a county, and I suppose later on this year we'll see what's interest, and we'll see how many applications come in, and that'll determine, we probably need to go out and sell it on the road as well, and locally and publicly, on the airwaves, without a doubt.